Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at fundamentals of C and programming. So let's start. So first of all, we're gonna write a hello world program. So whenever we start learning a new language or something, we first write hello world. So we are going to do that in C. So just do printf, and I'm going to explain the program, but first we have to write it. Hello. Okay. So now now we are going to compile this program. So we are going to use main.gw. So just give this command gcc main tab, and as soon as we do that, you can see the program has been compiled. And if we currently look at this directory, you can see a.txt is the executable made by a compiler. So let's run it. As you can see here, hello world is being printed. Okay, so congratulations, you have written your first hello world program if you are um, following the tutorial. Okay, so now we have written our first hello world program. So now we are going to understand what's all this code up here. So this part is called a header file. Okay, so we have to include this, so it denotes with a dot h that this is a header header file. Okay, we have included stdio, which is used for taking input and throwing input out in a console. So uh, let's check out this part. Next thing what we're going to see is comment. So if you want to say that this is a hello world program, so if you type you can if I save the file and compile it once again, you can see that it will give an error. Okay, so you want to make whoever is reading the code some text that this code is yours, or whatever you can want to write about the program. You have to uh, use a comment. So to use a comment in C, we have to include two forward slash like this. Okay, so if we compile it yet again, you can see there's no error up here. So now if we run as usual, we haven't, so this is also a comment right here, so the compiler is just gonna ignore that. So the next topic we're gonna cover is variables. So what are variables? So let's assign a variable right here. I'm gonna leave that and just so there are just single line comments, and if you want that this whole part to be a comment, so you can go and do forward slash, but there's a better way. You can just forward slash star mark till wherever you want to comment a whole paragraph or something, just put star and a forward slash again. So save it. The compiler is gonna ignore this whole chunk of code here. So now just write the main function here, and what the main function is actually, it actually the first function to be, the compiler looks for the main function and runs it here. So it looks for the main function, which is an integer type here, so it is returning a 0, but you can make it a void type. A void type function does not return something, but the function should be main, so that the compiler comes here first and then see whatever code you have written. Okay, so now under the void section, let's talk about variables. So let's say you want to write a program where uh, you want to add two numbers. Okay, so you can just do printf and do like 89 multiplied by 34. something, and then you compile it, and then you run the exe. It is compiling here. You can see it didn't bring it out. You have to write the type. It is D here, and then run, compile it once again, and as you can see it printed out the result over here. So it didn't work. So what is this %d over here? It denotes that we want to print out an integer. So first this you can see this is %s, which means we want to print out a string, which was hello world in these double quotes, but now we wanted to print out an integer. Okay, it gave the product of these two numbers, so we did %d. It is used to tell the compiler that the whatever we want to print out to the console is a integer type. So let's say you want to don't know the numbers of these, and like if you want to write it yet again, so if we just copy it and just let's say you want to know if these numbers are divided, what is the remainder. Okay, so you can do it like that, but I'm going to show you a better way. So let's comment this line and let's assign a variable right here. So let's say the first number you want to assign is x, and then the next number is y. Okay, and then you assign the numbers. X is equal to 89. Put a semicolon. Basically this semicolon denotes that the line ends up here, and y is equal to 34. Okay, and if we just remove these things here and write x and then y, and let's uncomment this line over here and do the same thing here also. Put x and put y. So if we do that and compile a program, the next thing what we're going to do is exe, and as you can see I don't know what is the product of these, but I definitely know that the remainder will be 21. Okay, so as you can see it is giving a warning that that there is this return 0 over here, and the function is type void. So we will get to the functions part later. For now just I'm gonna remove it from here. So this was the variable part, and this you can assign what the type of the variable is. You can write float over here. Float is a data type, and integer is a data type. String is also a data type. So you can use different data types over here to assign a variable. So this was the, let's quote it in multiple lines. And now let's look at what are data types. So the first data type I introduced was integer. Okay, so every number we assign is an integer. Okay, so another data type I'm gonna introduce is float data type. So if you want to assign a variable a, which is a float data type, that means that it includes decimal numbers, so like 45.2, and float b is equal to 67.1, 7.1, whatever, and then we're going to print the values, print the product of these two numbers. So first we have to write %f. So %f is for float, %d is for integers, and %s is for a string over here. So we have already talked about what is a string. String, whatever you type in this double quoted, it will be returned as a string. So now what we're going to do, wait a second. So if we print the product of these two numbers, let's do that over here. compile this. Print the number. It is not returning the value over here for some reason. Let's see. Float. Oh, we haven't used the semicolon over here. Let's do that and compile the program yet again and run it. As you can see, float number has been printed out here. So if we did that with an integer, if we swipe that and tells the compiler to return a integer instead of a float number, we can do that as well. Compile the program, run it. As you can see, it gave the value but didn't print the decimal number part. Okay, so let's remove and do the float only. So this was data types, and you can assign, there is one more data type, it is character. Let's see, C is equal to, you assign a character like R and you want to print the character here, printf. And as usual, for printing a character you need to add %c over here, and then we're going to print the character. So now save the code and in the compiler, and as you can see, after the number it printed a character which is R. So this was it about data types, and now we're going to take a look at, let's say, loops. So what are loops? Let's say if you want to run, let's first form a loop, then we are going to. So this is a for loop over here. Okay, so first of all, let me assign a variable over here, int I, let's say, which is the value of it is 1. Okay, we talk about, and what we're going to do, we're going to iterate I over, let's see, we want to increment it by 100. Okay, and then I plus plus printf %p. Let's go here and type I. This, let's first compile the code, run it, and as you can see, it printed out a bunch of numbers from 1 to 99. It did it because it was less than 100. So if we do like equals to this and compile it yet again, and if we do it again, as you can see, it printed till 100. So this was about for loop over here. We this is an integer, we put the value 0 and we assign that I is less than equal to 100, and I plus plus, what it does, this iterates over and it adds an increment to I. So this was about for loop. Let's take a look at while loop over here. So I'm gonna comment all this. I'm gonna just comment the for loop part. We're gonna leave the variable over here, comment it all. Let's so now we are going to take a look at while loops. What are while loops? So first I'm going to show you, I is less than, let's say, 50, and then what you will do, printf print t, and just print I. Okay, and here what we're going to do is set I plus plus. So you can do like I is equal to I plus 1. This is a way of incrementing I by 1. If you're a beginner, you can use that, but the best way is like do I plus plus so it increments over here. If we don't do that, the loop will be infinite, and that would be a trouble for us. So let's compile the program and run it again. As you can see, it printed numbers till 50 over here. So it ran the loop, and now first of all, this is the while loop, and next loop we are going to take a look at is do while. So this syntax of while loop, but there's another way you can do that. So first of all, let's comment this line up, and now we're going to take a look at do while loop. So first you assign what to do, like I guess print C tutorial, and then we're gonna assign while what thing over here. So like if I is less than like 5 times, I guess, and then put a semicolon over here, compile the program yet again, run it, and as wait a second, it should have printed it. So if we put the value 9, so as you can see, the number is not uh, uh, 9 is not less than 5. So so why it printed out C tutorial? So this is a rule of while loop that if it is not here, then what it does, it removes, it doesn't print out the value. So um, there should be a situation which we have to assign over here, but it still printed out C tutorial, because in do while loop, first it will run whatever code you have written and ignore what is the situation over here. So first it will see what to do, and then on what situation, and in while loop it see what's the situation and then what to do. So this is the sequence. So I hope that you understood. Then we're going to comment that, and next we are going to take a look at conditional statements. So let's say if you want to see that I is less than 5, so it will print out if the number is less than 5 or not, or if the number is more than 5. So what we're going to do, let's take a conditional syntax over here. As you can see, we have to put the condition over here, and if the condition is true over here, we have to do the code over here. So if x is greater than 9, what we have to do, x is I over here is I is less than 9. So I is less than 9, which is I over here, not x. So I, and then what we're going to do is do the code, and then we're going to put the code over here. So let's print the value, let's print that the number is less than 5. Okay, so you want to see if the number is less than 5 or not, and then we're going to write else if printf wait a second, printf that the number is greater than 0. Number is greater than 5. So let's quote it into a string over here. let's see what it does. So as you can see, the 9 is greater than 5, so it should return that the number is greater than 5. Okay, so let's see what it is. Let's say, wait a second, we have to give a condition. We can give a condition over here. So I is greater than 5. Let's compile it yet again and then run the x5. The number is less than 5. So what is I? I is 9. It should show the number is greater than 5. What is the problem over here? Let's see if it shows. Part over here. The number is less than 5, but I over here. So let's see if we do 2 over here and then run the program yet again. It doesn't print anything, so the number is good. Oh, we right. It was a mistake. So let's do it again and we're gonna write 15 over here. Compile the program. The number is less than 5. What the problem is over here? If x is less than 5, print this, and x equal 5 is greater than 5. So yeah. Oh, we have given them this wrong operator over here. Now it will give the right. Compile it again. As you can see, the number is greater than 5. It printed the output over here. So this was about conditional statements, and there's also else over here. It doesn't require an condition. It runs if all these conditions fail. If I is less than 5, it checks first. It is not, then it goes to the another part which is else if, and sees that if I is greater than 5, obviously 15 is greater than 5, then it will run the code over here. And if all the elements fail, all the conditions fail, it will output printf. Wait a second. Printf error over here. So if we write like if I is not an integer but a character over here, and the character is, let's see, f, and then compile it, you can see this volume character is 5 is less than. So if all the conditions fail, this one runs over here. So this was about conditional statements. So let's comment this chunk of code out. And now what we're going to see about functions. Okay. Before functions, let's see about what are arrays. So first of all, if you want to assign an array over here, let's int array, and we put the value of array, which is I guess 5, and then we assign the numbers which are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put a semicolon, and this is basically a data structure in which a bunch of elements are stored here which are of integer types, and this is so let's say in this array you want this particular integer. So how to do that? Printf t%, and now we are going to print the first element of array. So it says 4. You might be wondering that why it printed 4 instead of 5, because 5 was the first element. it doesn't work like that. In basically in all the languages, counting start from 0. So if I do 0 over here, compile it and run it yet again, then it will show 5 over here. Like if 0 1 2 3, so if we want 2, we have to write 3 over here. So this is how this language works. Okay, so this was about an array. Let's say you want to print all the elements of this array. So here we're going to use a for loop over here. Int is 5 over here, and let's say printf percent %d, and we want to print array I. So now we are going to compile the program yet again, run it, and as you can see, it iterated over all the elements of these arrays. So this was about arrays. You can use it to store data structures. So there are also multi-dimensional arrays, but this is just an beginner friendly tutorial, so we're not going to. So just look at what are arrays. It is used for storing some data in it. Okay, so now what we're going to see is functions. So how to assign a function? So first I told you that this is a function, okay, and here it does, this code does some things, and the compiler first looks for the main function. So if you want to write a function over here, you can just like write. So data types do matter here. If we want to write a function that does not return anything, so let's write a function in which the program prints the remainder of two integers. So we will say remain the, and let's assign two parameters in it, int x and int y over here, and we have to do this curly braces. And now what we're going to do, we're going to return x percent y. Okay, so here the function is being completed. So it is an integer, means that it returns an integer data value. So obviously we're taking the inputs as integer and returning it them as integer. So this is then int remainder function. Let's go to the main function to actually execute this code over here. So let's go and let's see if we want to use a function, the reminder. So let's type in reminder over here, and you want the remainder of 56, 5 and 56, I guess 55 and 5, it should return 0. Let's print the printf, which is an integer type. So let's this command over here. So let's compile this program. It is still in warning. As you can see, it printed out 0 over here. Nice. So if we did like 4, it will print the remainder over here, as you can see, which is 3. So this was about functions. So this was an integer type. You can write any data type you want to assign. So the last concept for this tutorial is what we're going to look at, pointers. So before pointers, let's take a look at a very important concept, which is take an input from the user. Let's say you want to, let's uncomment this line first and assign two variables over here, int let's say x and y. And now what we're going to do, we're going to take two inputs. So printf actually prints the output to the console, and scanf takes value from the console. It is all possible because of this header file, which is studio.h. So now I'm going to write scanf, and this is going to take first of all the value, which is x. So you can just like search it in Google, what's the pointer, if like you are stuck in some things like scanf, what is scanf. This is just to take out brief concepts out of the way, the basic concepts over here. So don't take stress. So let's assign a pointer over here. So let's see, we want to assign a pointer like int star, and like say cp, and cp stores the value, cp is equal to stores the value of the pointer, the memory location of x. So first we're going to look at pointers, then we're going to last thing, which is taking a user's input. So now if we print the cp, and then we're going to, so as you can see 64, this is the actually the memory location of x over here. So you can assign another pointer, which is I guess xp, which percent. So to assign a pointer, first you have to put the star mark over here, and then this pointer locates to the value of a memory location of y. So if we do that, and if you want the value of xp here only, and now compile the program. Wait a second, let's take it to the next line. Printf, and now xp is over here. Let's remove comma, and we compile the program. As you can see, this is the memory location of y, and this is the memory location of x over here. This was the memory location of cp, was the memory location of x, and xp was the memory location of y. So this is how you can use pointers. So you might be wondering why use pointers, because you might be wondering that these are kind of useless, but they are really useful if you want to know the specific area of memory in your PC. So later you will see what are the uses of it. For now, just take the concept. And to comment this out, and last thing we are going to see is, so I don't think there is something more over this. So the last concept, there's one more concept, which is taking a user input. So let's do that. We're going to use scanf, which is a built-in function, not a built-in function, we have included that with this header file. And then we have to write the syntaxes as such, like pointer %d, and now the, like, if there is, let's assign another variable, or just take it from here only, control C this up, and let's assign a value of any random number, and we will take the pointer, the location of y over here. So scanf means that it takes the input, and %d, that the input is an integer type, and it stores the value in pointer b. So this is the syntax here, and we want to print what the value what the user has entered. So let's do that. Print the value of y. Compile a program. The program is waiting for an input. Left with a random number because it is an integer type, and as you can see it wrote 56. Where this was, I wrote the input and this was 56, right? Because 67, and it printed out 67. Okay, so this was the concept of how to take an input to the console by the user. So yeah, this was the video explaining uh, C in one video. So I hope this video was helpful, or it helped you in some way or the other. Maybe it cleared your concepts, or this was something that might help you. So yeah,